Chair Hyland, we're ready when you are.
Okay. Good afternoon. At this time, I will call the Parks and Community Events Commission meeting to order. May we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Herrera, Commissioner Jimenez, Commissioner Martinez,
Present.
Vice Chair Beishu,
Present.
Chair Hyland,
Present.
and let the record show that Commissioner Herrera and Commissioner Jimenez did inform staff that they would not be here due to illness.
Thank you. Okay, public comments. Public comment is the opportunity for members of the public to comment on any item not appearing on the agenda. Please state your name and residence for the record. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak?
I do not believe anybody would like to speak on general public comments that are not on the agenda, correct? Okay, and I did receive one comment through email, and I'll go ahead and read that now.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dorian Whitney from the Outpost neighborhood. I wanted to check in again on the tree issue I brought up back in December, where I mentioned that about a dozen healthy trees were ripped out of this ecosystem. Staff was asked by the main speaker to bring back a report on why the trees were cut down. Forgive me if I missed it, but I watched the next meeting live and I did not hear anything about it. I will be at the next meeting. If this can be put on the agenda for that meeting or brought back up, that would be appreciated. Thank you. And we do not have any other requests to speak.
So do we need a formal request to add that to next meeting as an agenda item with a staff report?
If we have a consensus, we will add it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Staff?
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay, moving on to agenda finalization. Are there any items on the agenda that need to be pulled or continued to a future meeting?
There are none, Chair.
Okay. And approval of minutes. Approval of the December 5th, 2023 minutes for our last meeting. I need a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Seconded.
Okay, and I believe we are having technical difficulties on one of the screens, so we're going to go ahead and do a roll call vote. And I had a motion by Commissioner Martinez, and the second was by
Me.
Vice Chair Beishu. Okay, roll call. Commissioner Martinez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Beishu,
Yes.
Chair Hyland.
Yes.
Motion carries all ayes.
Thank you very much. Okay, staff introduction.
Yes, Chair. And we have Commissioner Report, Subtrails Committee report going first, so I thought this is a great opportunity to bring up our new senior analyst, and she has a grants emphasis, so she's going to help the city with grants, helps the commission that has some ideas. Amanda Geisendorfer, I got it right. I'm going to practice that one. So, complicated name, but we are privileged to have her on staff. She's got good references, came to us, knows what she's doing, has written grants before. So I wanted her to hear your commissioner comments on the Trails Subcommittee, because that seems to be a great target for a lot of opportunities, Trails ATP for grants that she can help us with. And if they morph off into more of a traffic-related thing, then we'd provide some traffic engineering assistance to that. But I wanted her to hear what you're working on, so she gets these great ideas and sees things. And then, if I can preface it, you have in the past sent us ideas for grants, or you see them. Continue, do not send them to her directly, send them to your liaisons, Deanna and myself, and Christina, and we'll forward them to Amanda so that she can review them. So
Awesome.
That'd be great. So Chair, if you want to commence with your Trails Subcommittee report, that'd be great.
Sure. And welcome, Amanda. We're happy to have you.
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Would you like to go first about the trails, Commissioner Martinez?
Sure. Commissioner Hyland and myself have been attending the Coachella Valley Conservancy Commission Trails Subcommittee. We have pitched an idea of trying to connect to the Palm Hills Trail area behind Vaughn's through a connector behind the old Moore Furniture store. We tentatively had a meeting scheduled with Jim Karpiak. He's a Cathedral City resident and also head of the Coachella Valley Conservation Commission. But due to the holidays and other complications, the meeting did not fall through. But we did schedule one for Thursday at 10 a.m. Mayor Lamb's on board 100, our Councilmember Lamb is on board 100%, and she's going to be attending as well as myself. Unfortunately, Commissioner Highland does not have has another meeting, so she will not be able to attend. So we're going to discuss that one and possibly the other trailhead from the Cove. We're going to try to get something worked out and moving quickly. The urgency is that Jim Karpiak is retiring from the commission, so we want to try and get something started before he leaves.
And I will continue on that. We've been conversing with the Friends of the Desert Mountains, a local nonprofit out here who maintains and runs a lot of trails out here, and working to try to find grants. It also falls in line with one of our priorities that we set for the commission for the next year, to work with our Public Arts Commission to bring public arts to the trails, whether it's, public arts with the trash cans or benches or restrooms or whatever it may be, so that we can kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, while we are doing beautiful trailheads, and also getting Cathedral City on the map. People are hiking those trails, they're just not formal designated trails, and so we would like to do this the right way, and it moves slow. That is a minimum 2 to 3 hour meeting every time with CVAG and CVCC. So we are being patient, but we are also hoping to push this through, and obviously money would help us designate that, especially if we need a parking lot or something like that.
One other thing, the piece of land we're looking at for a connector is a 5-acre parcel, currently privately owned, but it is in a designated green zone, so I don't think anything could be built on it. We're hoping, we've pitched the idea to Oswit Trust, but they don't seem to bite yet. But hopefully Jim Karpiak might be able to assist us.
Okay, Commissioner Baishu?
I wasn't working on that one, so I don't know that much about it.
No, any commission reports?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We just started yoga back up again, and we just broke a record last week. Of course, we're canceled today because of the weather, but we broke a record in the gentle yoga of 72 people, and we broke the overall record already in its second class of 123 people. So we're off and going on this great yoga, which I just think is a great project. So that's it.
Thank you. Wonderful work on that. And a huge thank you to Ryan Hunt for helping us communicate that and get the word out to the community. And I would like to personally thank Commissioner Baishu, who went on foot with old school flyers to all of the local community centers and country clubs, and really trying to reach our residents one way or the other. I think that concludes our commissioner reports. Okay. Do we need to ask for public comment on those?
No.
Okay. Alrighty, so we switched that in the agenda, correct? So now we move on to the first part of the agenda?
Yes, item number 2, which is the Springs Events Preview.
Perfect. And do we need to, this would be a good time to make sure that we have the Trails Subcommittee on the next agenda as well, so that we can update on the meeting that happens this Thursday with Councilmember Lamb. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the Spring Events Preview for the Parks and Community Events, PACE, and, oh no, I don't ask for public comment until after. Welcome. Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioner. It's great to be with you all. Before I get started with the events preview and kind of recap a little bit of the fall, I want to thank Vice Chair Baishu for working our information booth at Taste of Jalisco this past weekend with Gary Marshall, who's a former PACE Commissioner as well. So really appreciate it. It was nice seeing you at yoga too early in the week. They got me in some Lucha Libre outfits to kind of creatively help promote. It was a lot of fun. So, and you won't see it on the the slides here is it's more kind of things that I'm either budgeting or carrying out as my department, but I've got to commend the yoga program too. It's really just been a great catalyst for our amphitheater, and that's the regular programming we really would like to see moving forward. So it's a small investment for a really big payoff, and so Vice Chair Bayshia would appreciate your work on that too. So I'll go ahead and get started. I'll briefly kind of go through, Director Carell always keeps me on a tight schedule, so I know you have a lot to discuss tonight, so no videos or anything, but I will kind of talk through the fall recap a little bit. But that has kicked off for the last couple of years with the Battle in the Desert, which is organized and produced by Jesus Gonzalez, who's an officer with the Cathedral City Police Department. The event is sanctioned by USA Boxing, and they went from 600 to 1,000 for their attendance, which is a record. So really great for them, and they'll be back next year. We've already got a date marked. I think it's October 17th for 2024. So really great, and as we saw with the Lucha Libre wrestling, this type of activity is really starting to resonate with the community here, and I think in a big way, and we'll hope to continue to do things. But you can see last year, if I showed you before and after when I was here with you a year ago, you would see a crowd that looked full, but not quite as full as this. This was from this past year event, and this is what we really like to see, a packed out amphitheater, everybody enjoying a beautiful night in our Coachella Valley with the Cathedral City Mountains in the backdrop. It's a beautiful, beautiful, just incredible view. Halloween Spooktacular, one of my personal favorites, and I will spare you the photo of me dressed as Batman, but I did get in on the fun with the costumes this year with the kiddos, and that was on October 29th of 2023. About 3,500 people, maybe a little bit more, the event last year, and they will be a partner with us for Tastes and Sounds of Cathedral City, which I'll get into here in a little bit, but really great. The kids win free bikes, courtesy of Deanna Pressgrove and her great programs there with the Environmental Fund, and so really, really terrific event each year that we really hope continues to be, really a shining star for the fall. And live stream blood bank, I wanted to note this. They kind of had a tough year in 2022. People getting back from COVID and everything. They really were happy with the performance this year. They saw a significant increase in the number of residents that were donating blood at the event too. So lots of fun, family fun all across the board, but also a chance to contribute to a good cause there too. So we were really excited about that. Palm Springs Pride Parade, which we'll be participating in, obviously, again in 2024. There's a photo, and I can mention that Vice Chair Bayshia actually saw the old gays in the audience. He said, "The old gays are over there," and I ran over and got that's a screen grab of a video. I got him to do a little shout out for us in Cathedral City. Ran back. It's a good exercise day too. You get to walk in the weather. We actually had beautiful weather this year, and it's a really great chance to not only celebrate LGBT days, but with it being 2 weeks away from the Balloon Festival each year, it kind of gives us a chance to cross-promote for both. So we were really excited, and we've been paying a little bit of I've asked for an increased funding for that event, council approved fortunately, to be able to really provide that first half parade entry, to be able to make sure that we're seen by a prominent group. But the attendance of that event is 125,000 and climbing. So it's a great branding opportunity for Cathedral City and to celebrate our own LGBT community here in the Valley. The 9th annual Cathedral City International Hot Air Balloon Festival, we were getting a lot of pilots from all across the globe, and so we really wanted to brand that and take ownership of that. Pilots from Belgium, from the UK, from Scotland, from the Netherlands, and so really wanted to make sure that we commemorated that, and I think we'll be doing a lot more exciting things for our 10th anniversary of the Balloon Festival, which has been presented by our partner Agua Caliente Casinos. They've been a tremendous sponsor of this event for the last several years. So you can see the budget there. You'll see that on each slide for transparency, but it's really become a huge event. It started in humble beginnings, I think iteration from a farmer's market into now a balloon festival of this magnitude is really pretty incredible. And it's really grown to be more of a regional event too, attracting people from all over the valley, but as I mentioned, the international audience. And we get visitors from other countries to participate in this as well. So it's a great chance, but it's no longer just a local event. It's really hit the big time, as they say. So projected attendees this past year was well over 25,000 over 3 days. Features hot air balloons, as I mentioned, from all over the world, food truck fiesta, drone light show, a car show, lots of activities for the kids, and then special shape Sunday over at Big League Dreams with the pancake breakfast. So, and as you can see, Visit Greater Palm Springs honored the Cathedral City Hot Air Balloon Festival with the Palm Award for Visitor Experience, which is one of their more prestigious honors. So we were really excited to put Cathedral City on the map. And then you can see Commissioner Martinez, I do it all the time too, calling her Mayor Lamb, as she was Mayor Lamb at the time of the photo, Cathedral City International Hot Air Balloon. There she was championing our balloon on the big stage there at Agua before the launch. Snowfest at North Pole Village, really a great year for Snowfest. It was a record attendance of more than 5,000 attendees, and the real snow was, I think, one of the big hits of the day. It really, even the next day when there was still a little bit of snow on the ground, I saw some kids and families going over there to play. It lasted a little bit longer than I anticipated, but this was the first all-day event that we had gone back to since 2019. It had been just a tree lighting after COVID. We were trying to downscale and be safe in our thinking with some of the large-scale gatherings. This is one that we saw great success going back to an all-day event. You can see Santa and Mrs. Claus on the stage with us. We had puppet shows with our Cathedral City High School students were fantastic. Children's story times with our Cathedral City Fire and Police Departments, and KSQ's Patrick Evans, who's also a Cathedral City resident, very involved in our community. He was the MC this year and I think really elevated the proceedings there too. So really a lot of fun. And then this year we did Santa photos. You know, Santa photos can be really expensive and cost prohibitive for families, so we wanted to try to provide more free opportunities for families to be able to have their photo with Santa. And so we did 3 more opportunities on the weekends. After that, you can see actually our current mayor, Mark Carnevale, and his wife Rhonda, were our Santa. Ernesto Gutierrez was also one of our Santas. So really ended up being a great, Kimberly Krause, I believe, and her husband were the other 2. So really great turnout all around, and I like that this new programming element that we were able to offer for a pretty minimal investment on the staff side too. Palm Springs International Film Festival continues to be one of our best branding opportunities. We are a $50,000 sponsor of that event, and the Mary Pickford Theater is a way to show solidarity and support with them to really elevate our downtown. I can't tell you how many days during the festival that I talked to Ted Hain this year. We don't have the official numbers of attendance, but he said that they were more successful this year than they have been in many years of this as we brought it to the Pickford Theater. But just a great opportunity to showcase downtown Cathedral City, to be a part of all these great films. And as I was saying, that just on a day where you would normally not see as much foot traffic, I saw so much on like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those days that could be typically a lull for the theater, getting a big boost by the Palm Springs International Film Festival. We supported their efforts through some branding, and you can see the banners that we put up by the Pickford Theater, and our logo was all over the place, including the awards dinner. So it's a great way for Cathedral City to stand out in that capacity. All right, we'll get into the spring preview. As I mentioned, we're just off of a very successful Taste of Jalisco Festival. We're still waiting for the final attendee numbers. Not sure we're going to beat the record attendance of 2023. We'll see when it's all said and done, but pretty close. Last year we just had unbelievably beautiful weather. It was like one of the most perfect weather weekends I'd seen. I wish I could make a call to Mother Nature before these things happen to ensure that we have good weather, but pretty much out of my control as an event organizer. Something that I've learned pretty quickly here in the Valley that can be pretty unpredictable. But fortunately, the rain did stay away. We did have 3 solid days, Saturday being our biggest attendance by far. Really great programming. We had the Lucha Libre and the amphitheater, which is a great use of our space there. And then we had the biggest carnival that has ever been seen in the Taste of Jalisco's history. It really was great. It was at least twice the size of what last year's footprint was. And so really great daily entertainment and celebrating our sister city partnership with Tequila Jalisco, Mexico, which is obviously an important thing to everybody from leadership down here in our community. I'm really excited about this one. I invite you all to attend. We'll be getting invites out and make sure that you have all the information. I may even ask Vice Chair Baishu to help me with some flyer distribution for this one, because I really think this is a great opportunity to showcase our amphitheater. When I got here, really took the task seriously to provide more regular free opportunities for residents and our amphitheater and our iconic venue. I think the mountain view is just gorgeous. And so this will be a once a week Tuesday component. We'll have local food vendors, a little bit of food trucks too mixed in, but I've contacted Mr. Zebra to be a part of this event, and we've got a great mix of music throughout the cycle. Nick's Bistro has also been approached to be a part of this event as well, as have many others. For the restaurants that we've reached out to, it is a staffing issue for them to be able to really be able to manage a catering operation in an amphitheater. So we're trying to get a good mixture of food trucks and local restaurants, but really, really excited. And February, I think, will be really special because we get to celebrate Cathedral City's own and giving our high schoolers the opportunity, both the award-winning band and choir, Matt Howell, the choir director, the band director rather, May Leroy, the choir director, giving them the opportunity to shine on our community stage, I think will be a really great opportunity. So as you notice, the choir is going to be going on a little later, 6 to 8. Every other event will be 5 to 7 on the amphitheater. So it's a really low commitment of your time, investment. It's free, food will be available for purchase, and it'll be a great chance to just enjoy a beautiful night. We're going to have some picnic tables out there, but it's not, you don't have to reserve your tickets in advance. I've seen that question a little bit on social media. I want to make sure I clarify that it's free entry to the amphitheater. You can bring your own lawn chairs, your own blankets if you want to. Enjoy the amphitheater, sit on the grass, enjoy some great food and music. And then Radio Ready will finish out our February lineup, and we've got the full lineup on both the Taste and Sounds website and discovercathedralcity.com. So really excited about that one. The Mary Nutter, which I know Pace, we're working on some dialogues, but I think Vice Chair and I are both ready to get this solidified so we can get some presence from the commission for volunteers to promote Cathedral City and some of our local businesses and restaurants. It's a really great opportunity. 33,000 plus in attendees. It's increasing each year. I couldn't believe how big this event was when I went for the first time last year. You can see Councilmember Lamb there with one of the teams posing for a photo. This just was a great experience, and I've really tried to help make sure that we're giving them a helping hand with marketing and promotion and amplifying what I think is a really great venue that maybe doesn't get as much attention as it deserves in Big League Dreams Cathedral City. We really love this event and want to continue to partner. Deanna Pressgrove helped us again this year with the designs for the bags that we'll be handing out to, so really excited to celebrate this, and Mayor and Council, Mayor Carnevale will be throwing out the first pitch. He's got some competition. Mayor Lamb really nailed it when she threw the first pitch right down the middle. So, but I know Christina Burton actually has a softball background and has kind of helped him. So maybe we can whip Mark into shape, our mayor, and make sure that he has a good first pitch. But I'll be there to capture the footage and the video of that as well. Should be a lot of fun. Cathedral City LGBT Days. So stay tuned. We'll be really pushing this over the next few weeks with some great announcements related to it. It's the first Pride of the year for California. It is presented by Agua Caliente Casinos. It's the first time they've actually been a presenting sponsor in this capacity, which we're really appreciative of. March 8th through the 10th, which is a week later this year. Felt like we needed a little bit more time, not just to market the event in between Taste of Jalisco and this, but also to hopefully maybe get a little bit warmer weather for a week. We'll see. You know, it's a bit of an unknown when it comes to that. You can't plan for the weather, as I said earlier, but estimated at about 5,000 and steady. We did see a record attendance of the bed races last year and record submissions. I mean, I think we had 22 beds, so we gotta keep taking it up a notch and really like where this direction of this event is headed. So we're really excited to celebrate that. As you can see, we've got a save the date flyer that's been put out on our website, and we're really excited to announce more details for that in the days and weeks ahead. And with that, I'll just open it up to any questions that you have.
No, all I say is thank you for all your work. I was really impressed with the Balloon Festival.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate
But
that.
all the events are very good.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
They've all been pretty great. Welcome. I mean, you're really doing a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it,
Yes,
Vice Chair.
we'd like to know when you sleep, because you're doing such a great job, and we see you everywhere, and they've all been really well attended and great feedback. You make us all look good. So
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Okay. Included in our packet was the spring mailer that was sent out, so definitely take a look at that. Do we have any public comments on this item?
Chair, I did not receive any requests to speak forms, but if you're a member of the public and you wish to comment on the spring events preview, please raise your hand. And I see none.
Do we have any comments from the commission? All
No.
stated? Okay. Moving on to our next agenda item, we have the Dream Homes Park Progress Update. Welcome,
Yes,
Andres.
Chair, Andres Perez, the project manager, will give you an update.
Welcome, Andres.
Well, thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you. Good evening, Chair, Commissioners. Happy to be here again and provide you an update on the Dream Homes Park project. So as a reminder, I'm sure we're all aware, but for our audience and viewers out there watching, this is the location of the Dream Homes Park. It's located in the Dream Homes neighborhood. It will sit on a 7.52 vacant acre lot next to the Whitewater River Channel. Now, some major milestones since our last meeting. The Dream Homes Park and the perimeter wall is now in construction. The notice to proceed was issued on December 14th, 2023, and construction started, day one was December 26th of last year. So we're moving forward. Now, with us being in the construction phase, the contractor, Urban Habitat, has now been prepared to, or is mobilizing and preparing the site. We have office, trailer, construction equipment on site now. They have completed the clearing and grubbing of many of the large items there, and commenced the earthwork, which is the export and grading operations for the Dream Homes Park. Also for the perimeter wall, I want to take this time just to remind everyone here that we do have a 6-foot perimeter wall, and the color of the wall is going to be gray stone. Now this is done to match the Agua Caliente elementary school that we have that's within the vicinity of the park, and the Dream Homes Park restroom. Some council approved actions since our last meeting. Council approved the purchase of the restroom storage facility. This is a 4-stall all-gender restroom with 2 ADA compliant stalls, 3 restroom sinks, 2 drinking fountains, and a storage room that will be placed at the center plaza of the park. Also, City Council approved the cooperative agreement for the CB-Link Community Connector. Here, the city will manage the construction of CB-Link's Community Connector, and CVAC will reimburse us 100% of the construction costs. The total amount of the agreement was just under $535,000. And the CB-Link connector is connected at the central plaza of the Dream Homes Park. Also, a quick update, the California State Parks and Recreation issued an amendment to the contract for the grant contract, which extended the grant performance or deadline from June 30th to June 30th, 2025 to June 30th, 2028. So it's been a 3-year extension, and this has been given to all of their park projects in the state. And that's my quick update for the park.
Do we have any public comment on this item?
Chair, I did not receive any requests to speak forms, but if you're a member of the public and wish to comment on this item, please raise your hand. And I see none.
And just because we have an extension until 2028, I'm assuming we are not planning on a 2028 timeline extension?
Oh no, we're still going to try to do our best to meet that original deadline, so.
Wonderful. Just a buffer just in case.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, next agenda item we are moving on to is the Butterfly Festival at Panorama Park.
I don't have a presentation for this, but thank you. Hi, I'm Deanna Pressgrove, your Environmental Conservation Manager for the City of Cathedral City, and I'm here to present tonight our third, I believe it's our 3rd annual Butterfly Festival at Panorama Park. It will be Saturday, March 16th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is where we have our booths. We have the Scrap Gallery booths where we'll create butterflies and pollinators with our free activities. Also the Riverside County Library, the Evening Rotary, and you guys are you also do participate each year as well, and we appreciate that. This year, we will be handing out a fun and fact-filled book called The Truth About Butterflies by Maxwell Eaton III. And that was courtesy of the Rotary and Mayor Mark Carnevale. So I'll make sure that you guys get copies of that prior to the event. If you are willing to volunteer to help, please let myself or Karen Riley with the Scrap Gallery know. And as you know, it's always a very successful event. So we'll be there Saturday, March 16th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Butterfly Festival did not make it into the spring mailer, but I will do a separate direct mail piece for the surrounding neighborhoods to notify them of the upcoming event. All right?
Awesome.
Thank you.
Do we have any public comment on this item?
I did not receive any requests to speak, but if you are a member of the public and you wish to comment on this item, please raise your hand. And I see none, Chair.
And Deanna, will we be giving out bikes again this year?
Yes, we will give out bikes again this year at that one. And also, we're still planning our April Spring Fest at Century Park, and we'll do the same thing, but I'll bring back an update on that event at the next meeting. But yes, we'll hand out bikes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving right along, we are on to agenda item number 5, update on the downtown dog park. Welcome back, Andres.
Yes, always happy to be back. Okay, this is the other park project we have going on in the city. This is our downtown dog park. And for our audience out there, this is going to be located here within the city of City Hall, located next to our new fire station 411, across the street from the Alba Caliente Casino. For any of you, we have a copy of the approved concept plan. Some key items that are shown here are the 4 pickleball courts, small and large dog park area, parking, and a sidewalk walking area. Here are some of the things that I just mentioned. So milestones since our last meeting, a contract award was issued to David Volts Design to provide professional design engineering services. So this is our plans, our specs, and estimate for the downtown dog park. And on November 30th, we had our design kickoff meeting with city staff and David Volts Design. Since the time of the kickoff meeting to our current date, David Volts Design has completed the topographic survey, and as well as an assessment of the site, and I'll go over the items in the next slide. But starting off, they did have their electrical consultant come out and assess the electrical panel of the current building, and it was determined that the electrical service is good, and we do have sufficient capacity to power the future improvements of the park. So that's good. Building assessment, there's still some work to be done. So far, I'm waiting for the full report, but we do know there will be some modifications to the restroom to help this facility be ADA compliant, as well as restore any damaged areas to the building. Now, David Volts Design, or DVD, does plan to submit their base map and 30% submittal on February 22nd, which is in a couple weeks. So they're moving along. And that's my update for the park.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments? Is there anyone that would like to speak on this item?
Chair, I did not receive any requests to speak for us, but if you're a member of the public and you wish to comment on this item, please raise your hand. And I see none.
Do we have any comments from the commission? Okay. All righty. Next up, keeping the theme with dog park, item number 6, the Panorama Dog Park updates.
Now we're going to talk about maintenance.
Woohoo.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about maintenance. All right, so I am still Deanna Pressgrove, and now I'm your Public Works Manager. So now we're going to talk about the maintenance of a dog park. Since Panorama, with its growing popularity, maintenance is a responsibility, and we are learning. This is our first dog park, so this is a process, and it could change, but this is an update I'd like to provide you guys. One of the most challenging aspects of a dog park is the maintenance of the surfacing. And interestingly enough, when I did some research on dog parks, they actually get more wear and tear than a sports field does, just with its constant use in foot traffic. And our Panorama Park is extremely popular. So it is the Public Works Department's main goal to make sure that we are keeping that grass and the surfaces and the amenities around there in tip-top shape. But it is a challenge. So what we did put down this last year is we have plans that mitigating our irrigation issues. As you'll see, there's a difference between the grassy area inside the park and the grassy area in the open play area. So one of the issues that we had over the last year was irrigation, so in the drainage. We did, with its daily use, with the damage to the irrigation head, so we have put in a plan where our irrigation is checked on a regular basis to make sure that we resolve these issues in a timely manner. Because we want the park to always look good and always get the sufficient amount of water that it needs. When I am not doing this correctly. Here we go. But the frequent use of a dog park is not always what causes the damage. Above average rainfall can damage the park with what you see right here. This is a picture of what the large section of the dog park looks today. So when they're out there and they're breaking up during the muddy season, they're actually killing that surface. So the grass needs to be given time by our parks operation team to mulch it, fertilize it, and most importantly, it needs time to rejuvenate. And that means keeping the paws and the foot traffic off of it for a short amount of time. So the grass needs rest time or time to recuperate. So beginning in 2024, we'll be implementing a plan to improve the health of our dog park with additional closures. Right now, we do 1 4-week period through the month of October and November for reseeding to get to, we do the reseeding process. And then also on the 2nd and 4th Thursday of every month, we have a 2-hour period where we perform routine maintenance, and that's cleaning down the benches, the concrete, mowing, weeding, and filling in some of the DG around the perimeter. What we're proposing for the, starting this year is an additional closure of the dog park at the end of springtime, beginning of summer, when the temperature increases, to give the grass from the rye, the winter rye dies off and the Bermuda grass awakens, to give it time to rejuvenate so that it gets green again. And we anticipate that we'll need approximately 2 to 3 weeks for the spring closure. We'll do because of the popularity of this park, we'll do as little as we can. Once it's healthy, we'll open it right back up. We would do signage like this, something that has information, a QR code, so that they could go to, if you notice in the staff report, I had frequently asked questions. We'll create a page on the website so they can go to the QR code and they can understand, even though they don't see any activity at the park, why. It's because we laid down the fertilizer, we did the seed, but it needs time to rejuvenate. So additionally, in the spring and summertime, the 2-week period or 2 or 3 week period, we may also need time after a heavy rainstorm. So you saw the previous image that shows you the damage to the turf and how it turns dirt. That was as a result of not only Tropical Hillary, but as January 23rd's rainstorm. They were out there just kicking up that dirt during the storm or right after it, and it killed the grass. So we would, I don't know that we'll close it down after this rainstorm because it's already dead. We'll do some aerating and see if we can't rejuvenate it, but moving forward, after we get the grass nice and green, we'd like time after the rainfall to keep it shut down for a couple of days to let the grass dry out so it's strong enough for activity again. So again, about the frequently asked questions, we would add those to the website and make sure that all the signage is appropriate and big out there so people understand what we're doing. The maintenance and operation procedures will also apply to the Dream Homes Park that's currently under construction and the future downtown dog park when it's completed. Recently, in 2022, Council did adopt an ordinance revising that allows dog parks in all of our parks except the amphitheater, and the amphitheater on special events, though, like the Bully Festival that we just had. We also have installed multiple dog waste stations around all of the parks, the perimeter. So even though the dog park would be closed, people and pets still have the opportunity to walk around the perimeter and stuff. We would just have the park closed for, to give that turf some rest time so that it comes back up. And it looks as beautiful as the rest of the turf, or close to as nice as the rest of the turf looks at the park. So this presentation is for information, awareness, and discussion on a schedule to keep Panorama Park in tip-top condition.
Once we have all of our dog parks up and running, all three, are we able to stagger the
Yes.
closures? So
Yes,
that we
I
can
think so,
redirect
yes.
to everybody go to Dream Homes Park while Panorama's resting?
And we
Okay.
would put that on a website too. So we'd be very clear that this one's closed, but this one's open. Yes. I think we do that already with reseeding.
Right.
So we don't close, so they do overlap, some of the parks do, but where Panorama might be open earlier than Century is or Ocotillo, we try to stagger that as well.
Right, and I know
Plus, we
that's-
only have a couple of guys, so they can't do all the work at the same time.
And it's temperature sensitive, right?
Everything's temperature sensitive, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any public comments?
I will need your support because my dog park people are very, they don't even like us to close during October and November. So education is the biggest thing. It's not to inconvenience or to close anybody off. It's just so that we don't end up with a dirt lot.
And that's standard for all the dog parks in the area, I believe. Is there a reason turf isn't an option for dog parks?
We've looked at it in the past. It has its own issues. It's not artificial turf is not a maintenance-free. It's got smell issues. It also needs to be replaced a little bit more frequently than probably the grass does. So when we looked at it, it'd be a wash on maintenance. There's no cost savings, although we would still have to close down.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, I did not receive any request to speak forms, but if you're a member of the public and wish to comment on this item, please raise your hand. And I see none.
Thank you, Deanna. And moving on to agenda item number 7, request for PACE hydration station at the 22K Walk for Veteran Suicide and PTSD Awareness Event.
Chair, I spoke to Commissioner Herrera, who couldn't be here tonight, and I'll make the presentation on his behalf. And the staff report was pretty detailed, and it's a recommendation to approve the $500, up to $500 for a budget to operate a hydration station. Now, the Cathedral City Evening Rotary is hosting a 22K Walk for Veterans Suicide and Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, PTSD. It's an awareness event on April 13th around the perimeter of Dennis Keats Soccer Park. This item would have to be, since it's appropriation out of the PACE budget, it would have to go to City Council for final approval. But the whole focus is, yes, this is a Rotary event, but to make it a PACE item, PACE would actually basically be operating and manning this hydration station. There's supposed to be over 100 to 500 walkers here. All these events are getting extremely popular, could be more. It is open to the public for both participants and supporters to encourage those in attendance. And Jeff Cole from VFW Post, is he here? You here? You are, sir. So after I speak, you may want to listen to Mr. Cole on his support and information on the event. But as described at the beginning, when it was kind of forming, I basically worked with Commissioner Herrera to get it honed down to be a real PACE function where you can have information on the city, information on all our events, and basically have a PR out of the event, introducing people that probably will come from out of the area and participate in the event.
In PACE guidelines, is there a cost to attend the walk?
Let's ask Mr. Cole that question.
Okay.
So I'm done, unless you have any specifics. I'm focusing on how this goes through PACE and then going through the City Council, and Mr. Cole will have some of the finite details on the event itself.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Excuse me. My first time doing so you want my details on the event? Sure.
Sir, can you come a little closer?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Thank
sorry about
you.
that.
No
Okay.
need to be nervous.
So basically, the event I started in 2021. I had two brothers of mine that I served with in Afghanistan commit suicide back to back. So we started this event, and it was a small one for the first 2 years. It was a blessing to meet Angel and Sunshine Herrera to make this a bigger thing with Cathedral City. Basically, it's free to walk. Anybody can sign up to walk, but we'll have pledge sheets, and they will take their pledge sheets to their families, their friends, their schools, their churches, whatever program they want, and people can pledge any dollar amount for every lap that they walk. We'll also have outside sponsorships, which we're working on. The VFW is highly involved with this. I'll have my entire District 3, which covers 20 VFW posts involved. I'm also the president for the Chapter 519 ALR in Palm Springs, so we'll have the American Legion on board with this.
Wonderful.
The proceeds will be donated to support and stop veteran suicide, and it's bigger than that at this point. Suicide prevention as a whole now, I mean, you see it's impacting our community greatly. Like I said, it's open to anybody. There'll be informational booths for the cities, for any organization that sponsors. Like we said, the $500 donation or the sponsorship for the hydration station will cover that, and it would give complete sponsorship to I think it's the PACE program that you guys have, along with anybody else that wants to sponsor any other station that would have.
Will there be resources or mental health professionals or a way to
Yes,
get
we will
people
have
connected there?
Yes, we'll have the VA there. I've been coordinating with Riverside County Mental Health.
Wonderful.
We'll have, for veterans, we'll have DAV, we'll have American Legion, we'll have VFW, a lot of outreach booths. We're working on even spiritual outreach booths for like some churches that can set up to be there. Any type of outlet that people can reach out to that they feel comfortable connecting with.
And in your wildest dreams, your biggest goal, how many people would you like to see at this event?
As many as, I mean, I'd like to get up to the thousands. I mean, it'd be great to have it that big.
Okay.
So when you say 22K, will that all be in Cathedral City? I mean,
That would be at
that's
the
13
park
miles.
over, yeah, it'd be, we
What
kind of
cities
clocked
are-
it, it'll be about 22 laps at that park. It'll be offset a little bit, so the starting point, the finish point from the starting point will be offset a little bit, but it'll be roughly 22 laps at the park.
Okay.
What is the significance of the 22?
The statistic of 22 veterans that commit suicide a day.
Thank you.
I might add that Commissioner Herrera also mentioned, and I didn't put this in the staff report, that there is the opportunity, and he knew you had the strength in this, of even having coordinating with the people on Adopt a Pet.
Yes.
That may have a presence there, because relating to veterans and everything, having an animal and everything can relieve a lot of that stress and, challenges.
Happy to help coordinate that and work on some rescues and some dogs that can help with service dogs and mental health dogs as well that will be available for adoption.
That'd be great.
So the caveat here, you finished with your questions with Mr. Cole?
Anybody else? You did great.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
So the caveat here is to make this a PACE function within a function is that it's going to be manned and operated by PACE. So by the three of you, you're volunteering
Yes.
the rest of PACE, if you approve this, that you would actually take turns manning and operating that event. Obviously, there could be people supporting you, but there needs to be a PACE presence in there and truly, really representing the city as the Parks and Community Events Commission.
Did I miss the time when it starts and when it ends?
Mr. Cole,
Sorry about that. I just
you could come to the microphone and state
trying to
that.
figure out. I want to volunteer for this, so I just want to know
No,
how long
I
I'm gonna
believe
be
we've
there.
discussed that we'll start set up at like 6 and then start walking at 7. So if you do the time, everybody should be done walking by 1 p.m.
So-
And then have like a little ceremony and gathering afterwards, so like 6 to 3,
6 a.m. to 3 a.m.
3 p.m.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll put that back in your hands, Chair.
Okay. Do we have any public comment on this item?
I did not receive any request to speak forms other than Mr. Cole, but do we have any other comments on this item? And we have no more, Chair.
And do we have any further comments from the commission before we make a motion to approve.
I just think it's a worthy idea. Thank you. That's all.
We're happy to support any way we can. Okay, do we have a motion to approve an expenditure of $500 from the PACE budget to support this event?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair Bayshou, a second by Commissioner Martinez, and we will do a roll call vote. Commissioner Martinez?
Yes.
Vice Chair Bayshou?
Yes.
Chair Hyland?
Yes.
Motion carries all ayes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Either.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 8, and thank you for pinch hitting, Mr. Corella, while Angel recovers. 2016 adopted ticket policy review.
Yes, this was brought forward that the city attorney, we're having a lot of events and a lot of things that require tickets.
Yes.
City attorney recommended that both the PACE and the PAC receive a presentation, discussion on there is a ticket policy in the city. Obviously, you saw that in your packet. It was adopted in 2016. And basically, the resolution is what you see on the board. So everyone that's seen, members of the audience can see that too. And then there's a description of the policy. So there's the different sections. I don't want to get into a lot of detail in here, but the application of the policy describes how the tickets are provided and what they're provided for. They're defined. We have definitions on city official, city venue, immediate family tickets. There's general provisions, so how distribution for public purposes, no right to tickets, limitation on transfer of tickets, prohibition against sale and receiving reimbursement tickets, and I'll just re-emphasize, we're a public agency, and so everything you're seeing in here is pretty much common sense, and it's about the transparency of the city, and as you as public officials, the city council as a public governing body, as well as the city manager who's under their auspices, and then also staff included with that. And then the number of tickets. So all these provisions are made so that we have transparency, you have transparency, and identifies who the ticket administrator is. So the city manager is designated as the ticket administrator. Conditions in which the tickets may be distributed. So this gives you go through that and you go through the performance of ceremony. So if someone's invited to a ceremony, a function to MC an event or anything, the mayor, once you're a mayor, you're really subject to this a lot. You're going to a lot of events. Obviously, whether they hand you a ticket or not, you have access to the event and you're going to go out there and speak. When your job duties as a city official require his or her attendance at an event, so just to let you know, that not only includes the city council, could be city manager, assistant city managers. A lot of times us managers, directors, staff have to go to an event and do a presentation. Such as like on Hillary, I spoke at a function that you had to pay a ticket and they covered the cost of all the speakers' tickets to be able to do the presentation of that function. Tickets distributed at the behest of the city official. So that's an interesting one because there's a lot of events such as the Palm Springs Movie Festival, where part of the agreement in certain, to have the film in Cathedral City and all that, part of the agreement is there's a number of tickets that need to be distributed to the city, and those will be distributed out to the city officials. And then disclosure requirements. All this is to remind everyone that if they do take tickets, that don't adhere to this policy of not needing to report, they need to report those on the Form 802. You may be getting those from the city clerk right now. It's an annual form that we have to report on, and this is for reporting if you have anything that's taxable that could be considered a gift, not only a gift for fair political practices, but also on taxes. If you received anything of monetary value over a certain amount, you are going to pay taxes on that. So this is just a reminder on that, and it talks even about the return of tickets. So if you have any questions right now on this, we can.
I have a question too.
I do too. Is something like this, when I see this, like we give out tickets for the free movie for the kids, but there's no monetary value. Same with the Old Gays. They were both free events that Pace put on. Is that still subject to this?
The free movies for the children was a city-sponsored event, and that was actually vetted by the city council. So the tickets are actually going out to the public. So that was paid for, and that goes out. Internally, that paying out goes into our books as, sponsoring some. The Old Gays, same thing. There was no admission charged on that. So it's not necessarily, it's reportable, but in here, if it is a city event and there's a certain amount of tickets that you have, it's a reminder that those were given gratis to give out to the public. You're not able to charge anything for them or get any favors for them or put different people in line because, however you might think of them.
Right.
So
Just making sure we're already congruent.
My question is, if I was invited to the senior gala, is that also a ticket thing, or the gala that they had last November?
correct, but that is a ticket that falls under the city actually sponsors those and pays for those tickets for the city. So those aren't actually given out free. We actually buy
No, I
those
meant,
tables.
I was a guest of somebody else. Do I report that or no?
That's actually a good question. I'm going to get back to you on that
Sure,
because
fine.
that's really outside, but because you are a commissioner, there may or may not be a conflict there. So I'll get a definition on that. That's actually a very good question.
I
Because
have
there's a lot of events that are mutual in that they're for charitable functions, but you as commissioners, really wearing two hats as a resident and also a commissioner. So I'll find out.
I was going to say I have questions about the hats I'm wearing because it might be work-related or my Leadership Coachella Valley involvement, depending which hat I'm wearing.
No, I'll get an answer
Okay.
for that, and what I'll do is get that answer to Christina, and then you can send that to all of them
Thank you.
related to that question.
So for the State of the City coming up, we don't have to worry about that because city-sponsored, city paying for it, commissioners are invited by the city.
Yeah, and we'll define that too as well. I'm sure there's no challenge there because it is partially, it's technically a Rotary event, or a Chamber of Commerce event, but it is about the city, so we'll get a definition on that because there's all these little nuances that we all need to be aware of. Those are actually very good questions.
Thank you for bringing this to us. Any questions on the ticket policy? Any further questions? Any public comment on this item?
Chair Hyland, we have no request to speak on this item.
Okay, no motion is required. And it looks like we're at staff comments. Do we have any staff comments?
Small but mighty, thanks for coming. No, I have none. Deanna, Christina?
No, none.
And I'll just remind you, if you have any communications, send them to Christina, Deanna, and I, and we'll quarterback with Christina to get that distributed. Please do not send emails amongst yourselves. Subcommittees, can meet, the best thing you do is call each other up and say, hey, do you want to meet or do that? But remember, 2 by 2 only.
Yes. Okay,
Thank you.
So the next, staff reports for the next agenda would be due to myself and Christina by the
1 week from today, the
1 week
13th.
from today. So the item like for trails, if you want me to send you the previous staff report, just let me know if you want to build off of that.
yes, please, I think that'd be
Okay,
helpful.
Then you just let me know, I'll send it to you right
Okay, and then, yes, and then we
I'll
can,
email it to both of you, and then you'll just send it back to me, revised or updated, how you want it to appear in the agenda.
Is that trails or trees?
Trails. The
Okay.
trails one that they asked to be put on it.
and then trees, we also did ask.
But that
Yeah, and we actually have information on that one, so we could talk about it.
So that we can honor the request of the resident. Thank you. Okay, if we don't have anything further, call this meeting adjourned at 6:01.